Right, folks, good evening. I hope you're doing well. My name is Victor Muyakane and this is TV47 News Now. And we begin our coverage right here, right now, with the highlights.
The family of activist Boniface Mwangi now say they are not aware of his whereabouts hours after it emerged that he could have been deported from Tanzania. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission says it has summoned former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over his utterances about the 2027 general elections. And dozens of universal health coverage workers held a vigil outside the Ministry of Health headquarters in Nairobi, protesting the government's delay in absorbing them into permanent and pensionable terms.
All right, folks. That and so much more we have in store for you this afternoon. And we start our coverage with a question. Where is Boniface Mwangi? Because the family of activist Boniface Mwangi say they are completely unaware of his whereabouts. These are hours after reports emerged that he had been deported from Tanzania. Mwangi's wife, Njeri, says that she visited the Tanzania High Commission in Nairobi, where officials stated that they had no information regarding her husband's situation. Mwangi and his Ugandan counterpart, Agatha Atuhaire, were reportedly arrested by suspected military officers in Tanzania while attending the trial of Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu for treason. Despite Tanzanian lawyers being informed that the two activists were scheduled for deportation, Njeri stated that they've had no communication with Mwangi since his detention on Tuesday. A Tanzanian rights group indicated that police had confirmed the deportation. However, Amnesty International contradicted the claim, stating that the duo was still being held incommunicado.
This we are saying without any shred of a doubt is that Boniface Mwangi and Agatha Atuhaire have not committed any offense. We're very clear about that. We know for certain that going to Tanzania to observe a judicial process by any means is fully within the laws of Tanzania. Up to this point in time, no one has come forward, even those of us who are stopped at the airport. No one has come forward to state clearly the mistake, the crime that had been committed.
I don't know if there's whatever the issue is between the two governments. I can't speak to that because my husband has got nothing to do with it. If they have any issues, they should sort them on their own and leave my husband out of it. If my husband has anything to do, they need to come out and be very clear about whatever that is.
So we are wondering, where is Boniface Mwangi and Comrade Agatha Atuhaire of Uganda? So from here, what we are going to do, we are going to regroup so that we know the next course of action. But in the meantime, we are asking Kenyans, we are asking Tanzanians, we are asking all East Africans, and indeed all Pan-Africans in Africa and outside Africa, to exert pressure on the government of Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan so that she may release Boniface Mwangi and Agatha Atuhaire.
All right, on to other news. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been summoned by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission over his remarks ahead of the 2027 elections, which the Commission has termed as insightful. or rather incitement. NCIC chairperson Samuel Kobia says that the commission is collaborating with relevant authorities to ensure Gachagua is held accountable for his recent comments regarding the 2007 post-election violence. Additionally, the commission addressed the ongoing political shifts in the country, warning against the rise of ethnic-based politics, which they described as a violation of the Constitution.
Regarding Gachagua's, the former Deputy President, recent remarks in which he referred to the 2007-2008 post-election violence as a Christmas party. Certainly, these thoughts are not only appalling, but dangerously insensitive to the pain, to the loss, and the trauma suffered by thousands of Kenyans during one of the darkest chapters in our history. Let it be clear, there is nothing festive about the deaths, displacements, and the devastation that marked that period. To trivialize such a profound national tragedy is to dishonor the memory of the victims and the resilience of the survivors. Such rhetoric weakens the progress made towards healing, reconciliation, and peace building.
Dozens of universal health workers staged a protest outside the Ministry of Health headquarters in Nairobi last evening, demanding their absorption into permanent and pensionable employment. The health workers, who have been on short-term contracts since 2018, decried years of neglect, accusing both the national and county governments of failing to fulfill promises of job security. They warned that continued inaction could cripple public health services across the country. Despite repeated assurances, they claim each financial year passes without concrete action, further diminishing their hopes of securing stable employment. Their protest comes amid ongoing disputes between the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors over the UHC workers' compensation.
Serikali, Mheshimiwa Ruto anaongea kila siku, anasema ile kitu anataka kufanya ni mambo ya UHC, Universal Health Coverage. Lakini ataifanyaje bila human resource? Sisi ndio human resource wa hiyo Universal Health Coverage yenye anataka. Na whereas hatupai kazi. Tumekuwa tukifanya kazi na hatuja confirmiwa ile permanent and pensionable. For more than 6 years now. Wenzetu wamekufa 41, almost 45. Na mmoja alikufa last week juzi. Sasa ndo tumekuja hapa leo. Serikali to
having worked tirelessly with everybody running away from COVID, we stood firm. Kila mtu alikuwa anakimbia, even the politicians were running away. To stand firm, peka policemen walikuwa wanakimbia. We stood firm until COVID ikaisha. Now having worked on contract for 5 years, being paid peanuts, they are now tossing us up and up, down, right, center, paka tunachanganyikiwa.
Officers, 16 cadres. We don't have any medical covers which we can stand. We are exposed to microbes which affect our lives. Secondly, we work the same shift with those who are employed. Thirdly, we are discriminated, whereby we get 2/3 of the salary that our fellow people working the same shift, the same workload, the same benches are doing.
Now, hours after her seat was declared vacant in a Gazette notice, the High Court in Nairobi temporarily halted the expulsion of nominated Senator Gloria Oroba from the United Democratic Alliance Party, pending a full hearing and determination of her application. Justice Lawrence Mugambi issued the conservatory order after reviewing Oroba's notice of motion and supporting affidavit filed under a certificate of urgency on May the 20th. The court also blocked her removal as senator until the case is determined. This ruling means Oroba remains a UDA member and retains her Senate seat for now, despite the earlier Gazette notice declaring it vacant. Justice Mugambi set the next directions for the case on June the 3rd, 2025. Additionally, the court issued a penal notice warning that any disobedience or non-compliance with the order would attract legal consequences. Now, Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasia is cautioning the DCI against the forceful arrests of Kenyans accused of incitement. Salasia, who is claiming to be a victim of such an arrest, has recalled how DCI officers cornered him last week while travelling from Isiolo before detaining him and charging him with incitement. He is urging government agencies to summon suspects instead of treating them like criminals. Speaking during his visit to Nanyuki as part of his nationwide tour, Salasia is emphasizing that the Inspector General and his office should be protecting citizens rather than intimidating them. He is questioning why officers are conducting arrests at night while masked, arguing that law enforcement should be transparent.
Nikasema ya kwamba that office called the Inspector General is an office that is given by the Constitution of Kenya, that is there to protect Kenyans from any kind of insecurity issue. Na wakati unaona kwa sababu all hizi vitengo zote ziko chini ya Inspector General. Mimi nimeuliza Bwana Kanja kwa heshima kubwa sana jana na leo. Nikamuuliza ya kwamba aitishe ule ambaye anaitwa the Director of Criminal Investigation Bwana mimi ya kwamba wasitumie hiyo kitengo kufrustrate and harass harmless people like Peter Salasia and others. Sasa ukishika Peter Salasia mtoto mdogo kama mimi na amemwaga tu mafuta ya Yesu Kristo juzi, sasa unataka kufanya namna gani? Kwa sababu kama mnaona ya kwamba tumekosa mahali, andikeni kwa mtandao, chapisheni kwa mtandao ya kwamba Peter Salasia unahitajika pale katika makao makuu ya Criminal Investigation tarehe fulani saa fulani, ili ya kwamba nisipoenda Wakenya watajua ya kwamba tulimuita akakataa.
Right. Now, the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, Jeffrey Ruku, has announced that the government, through the State Department for Special Programs, will fully cater for all medical and mortuary bills for the victims of the tragic fire that recently swept through Mathare 48 estate in Nairobi. Speaking during a visit to the affected area, CS Ruku assured families who lost their loved ones and those nursing injuries that the government is committed to standing with them during this difficult time. The visit came 2 days after a devastating fire claimed 6 lives and left many others displaced in a tragic situation. CS Ruku, accompanied by Mathare MP Anthony Olwoch, also distributed relief food and basic necessities to affected families. He further noted that the national government is working closely with the Nairobi County government to implement long-term safety measures to prevent future incidents. In sports, Tsunami FC emerged victorious over Mugui FC in a thrilling final match during the vibrant Gen Z football tournament at Mbuinjeru Primary School. During the tournament, the government, through the Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, is in the process of establishing a nationwide framework aimed at integrating talented youth with the National Youth Service to equip them with essential skills and link them to professional development opportunities. Public Service Cabinet Secretary, of course, Jeffrey Ruku, stating that his ministry is working closely with the Ministry of Sports to draft a policy that will ensure the progressive development of young talents. The move is part of a larger agenda to commercialize youth programs and expand opportunities for economic empowerment.
Hapa nikaona kuna vijana ambao wako sawasawa, wakiweza tu kupata training sawasawa, wataenda katika timu zingine huko nje na pesa itakuwa inamwagika hapa Ndole, hapa Mugui, hapa Rujenje.
Whichever match game yoyote ambayo utacheza itakuondoa kutokana na madawa. Ukweli uongo? Wakati umechoka pia utaondokea kutokana na mambo ya ulevi. Itakuweza kukuepusha wewe kutokana na mambo ambayo hayana maana. Pili, body yako itakuwa iko fit.
All right, that's all we prepared for you this afternoon. But worry not, in a few hours at 7 p.m. we'll have much more comprehensive coverage of what else is happening across your world, and followed by another one, robust and even greater coverage at 9 p.m. This is TV47, the home of untold stories, and this has been Victor Muyakane on News Now.